Before you lies a plea for help about a mystery, scattered clues, fragments of a puzzle, and lingering secrets waiting to be unearthed. In mystery and deduction games, players transform into detectives tasked with solving the seemingly unsolvable. Each game's narrative scenario involves a crime, usually a murder, where the goal or the resolution involves deducing the identity of a criminal and answering specific questions about who, what, when, how, and why the crime occurred. These deduction games tend to share a few common elements. In the aesthetic of immersion, whether the setting is Victorian London or a CIA case officer's desk during the Cold War or a precinct in New York City, the best of these games feature detailed mixed media playing pieces and characters, often accompanied by period-specific prop replicas and mock forensics kits. It's easy now for board games to flow into the digital space to watch videos of suspects and testimonies from witnesses, or see crime scene surveillance footage. And keep in mind, not all evidence is relevant, so players must sift through misleading information to find out what truly matters. Under agency, players must communicate and pool their insights, encouraging cooperative analysis and problem solving. Players can explore most leads in any order, allowing for different paths to solve the case, but they often have to face pressure from an in-game clock or a limited number of allowed moves. They have to prioritize efficiency to crack the case. Under transformation, players play investigators, but they also bring with them their real-life intelligence and critical thinking. Player choices, such as which leads to follow and how they handle evidence, can influence the narrative and lead to multiple potential endings. As new evidence is uncovered, earlier information may take on new significance, requiring players to reevaluate their previous assumptions. Here I'm going to quickly chart some game examples under Caillois' grid. Consider the childhood board game Clue, a simple process of elimination. Gameplay is always 6 suspects, 6 murder weapons, and 9 rooms. Highly competitive. Random dice determine how quickly you get to uncover new evidence. There's no real story or personal stakes, but it's easy to replay. The Chronicles of Crime series pairs online virtual crime scenes with dozens of evidence cards, each keyed with a QR code. It's mostly cooperative, it's a bit random in that there's a lot of evidence and there's a lot of dead ends. Virtual reality crime scenes in forensics labs simulate the process but not the experience. Emotional stakes are low for individual players and there's no sense of disorientation. In Detective, a modern board game, choosing which specialists to work with helps unlock new evidence cards from a case file deck, but otherwise its gameplay is very similar to Chronicles of Crime. The Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective series hides clues among many passages of text, location descriptions, authentic-looking newspaper replicas, a period map of London, and an address directory. Players' only competition is to solve the case in less moves than were needed by the absent non-player character of Sherlock Holmes himself. The Hunt-a-Killer games tend to be the most cooperative, the least random, and the most immersive, but they have the same low personal stakes after each case is solved. Now, what if you did have a personal stake in solving the case? What if the nature of the game was also playing you? I want to switch to something a little different. The horror mystery game. In 2020, Hunt-a-Killer partnered with Lionsgate Entertainment to put out their first Blair Witch box set. I've replicated parts of episode 1, and it's time to play. Open the envelope addressed to you that's sitting in front of you. For those unfamiliar with the horror franchise, the Blair Witch Project was a groundbreaking low-budget film that came out in 1999. It cost way less than $1 million to make, but sold $248 million worth of tickets in the theaters. Its success sparked 2 big trends. 1, the use of shaky found footage and fake documentaries like Paranormal Activity or Cloverfield. And 2, the use of online guerrilla marketing with mock websites and fake news videos to get the internet talking long before the movie hit theaters. Online timelines, missing persons posters, interviews with family and friends, police, and videos of ongoing local news coverage around the case. A lot of people became convinced this incident actually happened.
Well, even if it wasn't, I'm not going to play with that either.
And it's all because of me that we're here now. Hungry and cold and hunted. Just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom.
Tell me where you are, Josh!
I'm gonna die out here.
The Hunt-a-Killer Blair Witch game picks up 2 decades later in the town of Burkittsville, where its local legends are still debated and denied. Today, a desperate mother named Rosemary Kent has reached out to you personally for help. Her eldest son, Liam Kent, disappeared 5 months ago. Local police believe the youth simply ran away. Rosemary says that's impossible. Running through the package in your hands. An invitation to join Rosemary's tip line at her website, kentcase.com, Burkittsville 8. If you have internet access in class, you can log in right now. There you'll find message boards where members of the Burkittsville community share their support or just openly speculate and gossip. In your packet, you'll also find a newspaper clipping about how Liam Kent witnessed his father's sudden death in a freak accident that happened when they were together deep in the surrounding woods. There's also an assessment of Liam's increasingly dysregulated and violent behavior in his school. There's transcripts with the local sheriff's interviews with Liam's mother and the younger Kent brother Tristan following Liam's disappearance. There's a law enforcement press conference summary about Liam. And then there's the therapy notebook Liam was asked to start journaling in after his fight at school. Liam describes alienation and loneliness, and most of all, missing his father. Looking inside the notebook cover, you'll see a grid with the letter A. Aha! You might recognize this as the start of the famous simple cipher called the Pigpen cipher. It's also called the Masonic cipher, Freemason cipher, Napoleon cipher, tic-tac-toe cipher, you get it. But looking through everything else, you won't find use of this code. At least not yet. The case files also include a magazine article about the area's troubling history and a map of the downtown Burkittsville area where Liam was last seen. Also, a gold-plated tooth bracelet found in the woods, something Liam never parted with. A pen. A pen with a black light on one end. Let's take a look at some of Liam's things under black light. There's hidden messages all over. Some use a code, but it's a different code, and copies of it are in your packet. There's a drawing Liam did of himself with his dog walking out in the woods. Under black light, a tall figure watching from the woods becomes visible. As you play through these case files, the core narrative starts to grow. A mysterious person named Carver lives in the woods, communicating in secret with Liam for unknown reasons. People start experiencing lost time while walking in these woods. Something happened at the area's now abandoned timber mill during the mid-1950s, something no one talks about anymore. More people begin disappearing as your investigation closes in on something. Something, or someone, starts corrupting Rosemary Kent's public tips website. The more you discover about what evil lurks in the woods, the more it discovers about you. It all leads to a final encrypted video file, revealing something terrible about the Kent family. But wait, there's one more sheet in your packet. A piece of evidence Rosemary somehow got from the sheriff's office. A scrap of paper with random letters on it under a Bible verse citation. Why would Rosemary give this to you? Let's play together and find out.